Okay, so we'll move on to Watford. As a Watford fan, it's pretty interesting to know what outsiders generally think about the club. So, how do you think Watford got on as a whole?
Yeah, I think they've obviously they've changed. I'm sure you'll agree with me, David. They've changed their approach in the transfer market, which, from a Watford perspective, is well, it is different, and they've chosen to go for, I don't know, they've chosen English players this time for likes of Will Hughes, Andre Gray coming in for a substantial fee. The players that are arguably the type of calibre that will fit Marco Silva's style of play as well. So I think Marco Silva's brought in the players that he wants, and at the same time they've mixed it in with, like I said, the change of approach in the market as well. So that's good to see. Yeah.
I think Marco Silva deserves a lot of credit because when he come into Hull City, before he'd even managed the game, there's a few people against him saying why an English manager's been given a chance. But really, he's building a young squad and he's taking risks on the likes of Nathaniel Chalobah, Will Hughes.
Yeah.
They're not established midfielders, but he can see something in them, and I think it's quite admirable that he's what he's done for the English game is definitely better than what some of the top managers are. So I think he deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, they like I said, they fit the Marco Silva style of play as well. They're not players who just hoof the ball and play like you could argue with Tony Pulis' style of football. They're players that want the ball, they pass move, silky style of play, which is the type of player that they've recruited. Yeah,
I think Richarlison as well. I think he looks like a good addition against Liverpool. When he came on, he looked very dangerous. Of course, got a 9-yard screamer versus Bournemouth.
Yeah, he does. He looks like a very good addition, doesn't he? I think where was it he got him from? Was it Corinthians?
Fluminense.
Fluminense. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, again, like I said, they've mixed it up. They've also brought in players from abroad to mix in. Yeah.
From my point of view, it's pretty interesting, obviously, to hear you talk about Marco Silva. And I still think he's got a lot to prove this season, but I think it's obviously he is a head coach, so the credit probably has to go actually to the board for their change in direction with these English players and these more recognisable faces that they brought in. So I'm sure Marco Silva's had a lot to say about that, but I think our owners deserve a lot of credit because they're the ones that ultimately make the final decision.
I'd agree with that. I think. Sorry, mate.
I'd like to give credit to your owners for number one, signing Marco Silva. I think that is your biggest transfer alone, just because so many other teams wanted him and they went out and got him. And then I think there is you can see some Marco Silva signings in the like of Marvin Ziegler and Andrew Carrillo from the Portuguese league. That's his signings. I wouldn't say that they're the board signings. But yeah, fair play to the owners.
Speaking of which, Dan, what can Watford fans expect from those two players in particular?
Well, Carrillo is a very quick, skillful winger that can produce a moment of magic out of nowhere. But he's always had problems with being consistent throughout the season. But to be honest, his best ever season in Portuguese league was under Marco Silva. So you can have a bit of hope there. But he's on his day, he is unplayable. And as a fan, it will be a very exciting prospect to have Richarlison and Andrew Carrillo both on their days. I think they'll give any sort of defence absolute nightmares. And Marvin Ziegler is a left back who wasn't very adored by the fans. He's more of a wing back, I would say. Very quick, very athletic. Came from Ajax Academy, so he can play the passing football. But for me, his defensive positioning is a little bit shit. But hopefully, if Marco Silva can fix that, then there's no reason why he could be potentially an upgrade on Hollywood. He's a lot more disciplined, I'll tell you that anyway.
Yeah, I think Watford have always had this bad reputation of just bringing loan players in, finding loopholes in the transfer market, and then offloading them, doing the same again. But this time they've actually they've looked forward, they've looked to the future and thought, we want a plan in place. There's a platform to build on now. An interesting one, David, as well. You've brought in Carrillo, obviously on loan. Is it? I believe it's on loan anywhere.
Yeah.
And you've offloaded Amrabat as well, who I think it's fair to say he might not play for the club again. I wonder what you think of that, because obviously Amrabat's not got the best track record, has he, at the club?
No, well, in that sense, obviously we haven't done too badly in that, like getting rid of a player that's, to be honest, not really played well in so long. So I think we could be a little bit short in that position. That's certainly an odd decision, maybe to send Amrabat on loan when we haven't really got too many alternatives. So in many senses, we are going to have to rely on Carrillo stepping up. But again, I put full faith in Marco Silva to find the answer in that department.
Yeah, he's worked with him before at Sporting Lisbon, and he's, like Dan said, so I think he knows him well. So,
what do you think about Andre Gray as well? Because obviously that's Watford's big money sign. It's an awful lot of money, actually.
I think you touched on it earlier when we were speaking. I think that was the player that you've been crying out for so long. A striker with pace, who, like you said, can run behind the defenders and make them runs that the midfielders can play the ball to, instead of going sideways, playing at feet all the time. I think it offers another option. Yeah, definitely.
I think he's the type of player that you said you've been crying out for. However, could you not signed a similar player abroad?
Well, I think it boils down to what we were getting at, though. The English market. He's having faith in English players. I think that needs to be praised rather than looking abroad. I think Marco Silva and the Watford board deserve a lot of praise for investing the money in an English talent. Fair enough, it is a lot of money, but it could benefit both parties, Andre Gray and Watford. So
yeah, I think, Dan, we easily could have looked for the foreign option, and of course we normally do, but I think Andre Gray is a much safer bet this time. I think this particular position, I think we had to probably play safe. I think with Deeney and Akaka, they're not natural goal scorers, and Gray probably has that finishing touch. As I say, I personally think he's quite overrated. I'm not too sure about him being a complete footballer, and of course we paid over the odds, but I think he's the perfect profile of exactly what we need. I think when we beat Bournemouth away, it was the exact perfect opportunity to show why we need that player. His touch was a bit loose and his passing was a bit off, but he ran in behind and caused all sorts of problems on the counter attack and set the first goal up. So I think it's a safe bet, but I do think it's the right purchase this time.
I do think with Richarlison, Andre Gray and Carrillo, you do have a lot of pace, especially on the counter attack.
Now we have the option to counter attack, which we didn't. When we had Deeney up front last season, some fat bloke up top by himself. It's not. When the ball gets played through on goal, you just sort of waiting for the goalkeeper to go and get the ball already. So.
But now you've got a lot of pace.
Now
in
we've
that.
got a completely different.
Especially away from home.
That's what I'm saying to Deeney. You sort of have to play at feet all the time because he hasn't got the pace to get behind the defenders and sort of, like I said, to offer that diverse type of approach to football.
It's very easy to defend against that.
Yeah,
if you have the right tactical approach, it's too easy to defend against sometimes. Particularly away from home, you need someone to stretch and give defenders something to think about.
Especially with the creativity of Pereira behind as well. That could be very lethal.
Well, we're obviously hoping that Pereira as well will have a fully fit. He's obviously he got injured in the first game, but hopefully he's going to be back for the weekend, and now hopefully that will be it. Now hopefully he'll get a bit of luck.
I know I've had a lot of discussion about you needing I've always said you need a new goalkeeper, and I'm glad you went to sign on the last day of the season. Last deadline, sorry, because that will give Gomez some competition. I think Kanoji is probably better.
That's definitely an area of concern. I think even though I'm overall very, very happy with how we did, I think Gomez is up for debate. So I think it's good to have that alternative for sure. What about you, Andy? How do you think Watford got on?
I agree with a lot of what's been said already. I think Chalobah and Hughes could be very good options. I was very impressed with Will Hughes in the under-21 tournament this summer. Sort of one of the first times I've watched him and thought, he's actually sort of fulfilling this promise that he's had. Chalobah obviously is already very popular with Watford fans. Pereira will be like a new signing as well. So with that creativity and the pace, like everyone said, I think it's looking very good. There's still a big squad there, though, isn't there? There's still a lot of.
Yeah,
you could probably ship a few out still.
Yeah, there's some deadwood that a lot were surprised that they didn't go, but
I think steps are definitely being taken in the right direction. There's more of an identity being built around Watford, isn't there? This year, you can sort of already see things coming into place, rather than just sort of this from an outside view as a hit and hope sort of policy before. So
I would agree with that.
I think you've got every reason to be pretty happy with how things have gone, and already a decent start. So with a bit of luck, Watford could go. It's a shame you went out of the cup, because I'd have thought with the depth you could put some cup runs together. But in the FA Cup, and then maybe push on to really build on or make an exciting league finish for yourself. Certainly.
Yeah, I've got a second that for like we said before, for Watford. Realistically, a top 10 finish is it's almost seen as winning the Premier League, really, isn't it? To get in that top 10 for any team in that bottom half, it's seen as a successful season. So yeah, cup run is ideally what Watford should be realistically hoping to achieve. Yeah, definitely.
How would you rate the window then, out of 10?
I'm going to give them an 8. I think they've done a solid piece of signings, and I think that Marcus Silva alone is amazing.
Yeah, I think I'll give them an 8 as well. They've brought in the players like Marcos Silva, fit the bill, like I said, for his style of football, and yeah, they've had a good window.
Yeah, 8 out of 10. They haven't sold anyone who they're going to miss, to be honest, and everyone who they've signed, or the major signings, will probably strengthen the team in one way or another. So I think I'd agree with the rest of the lads, 8 out of 10.
I think I'd probably give them a 7. I like the signings that they've made, but I think the problem is a lot of the signings that have come in at Watford aren't necessarily proven, but I could definitely see what he's going for. So it's a very harsh 7 from me.